More now on the stem cell clash on Capitol Hill. The Trump administration is barring the use of human tissue for research, while some scientists are trying to push ahead. The Catholic Church is strongly opposed to using cells of unborn babies for science. They argue there's a better way. The national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux, Christopher White, joins us now to talk more about that. Christopher, thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be back with you, Tamara.
So you've studied this field for a decade. What is the better way?
Well, look, the church has constantly said, as these stem cell debates have carried on for the past 2 decades, that look, the most effective means of going about stem cell research is that of using adult stem cells because they're more mature and they have proven more effective for all sorts of therapies.
Okay, well, now the church also doesn't oppose all forms of
No.
stem cell research. They actually support umbilical cord research. Can you explain, where do Catholics draw the line?
Well, so the real question is sort of what's at stake in this research. And in the early 2000s, much of the debate centered around that of embryonic stem cell research, which would have required the destruction of a human embryo, which the Catholic Church is, strongly opposed to as a destruction of human life. Now, umbilical cord stem cells, it comes from the blood when, babies are first born. It's very rich with stem cells, and using that for all sorts of therapies does not actually require any destruction of human life and has proven just as effective.
Many parents are actually saving those as well.
Absolutely, yes.
So now this isn't a new endorsement by the church. They actually came out with teachings about this years ago. About how long has it been out?
So the first sort of comprehensive bioethical guidelines from the church came down in 1987. Now technology moves very rapidly on these things, and so in 2008 the church issued a more comprehensive document, sort of instructions on how to navigate these technologies as Catholics. But as these debates were heating up in the early 2000s, the church made it very clear that they supported umbilical stem cell research.
Well, why do you think people are not acknowledging that?
Well, I think there's this narrative often that, the church is anti-science, and I think most people don't take the time to parse out what's, at stake here, the difference between adult stem cells and embryonic stem cells, and I think that's where the question and ambiguity has often come into play.
I want to dig a little bit more into that. So back in 2001, the church was viewed as being anti-science for opposing embryonic cell research. Here we are nearly 2 decades later. What's the verdict now?
Yeah, I think the church has been vindicated because these technologies have proven just as, or if not more effective.
Christopher White, national correspondent for the Tablet and Crux. Thanks so much for being with us.
A pleasure, Tamara.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.